So over time, these become habitual. And this is what takes us down that pathway towards avoidance and hostility, is these tendencies. But my suggestion is that we don't have to go down this path. We don't have to start with suspicion, because we also knew a different way of looking at difference when we were younger. When we saw people who were different when we were younger, instead of avoiding them or being suspicious, what were we? Exactly. And if I'm curious, it leads me to a whole different set of behaviors. I see someone, I remember the first time I saw somebody who had a tattoo. And what did I want to go and do? Go touch it. What does it feel like? Anything that's different to kids, because that's how we learned as kids. But as we start to get older, we start, well, I know everything already, right? I just know about this and that. Somehow that natural curiosity seems to decline, more so with some people than others. But what if we could reignite that curiosity that we had as kids about people who are different than we were? And we actually learned that it's okay to acknowledge and even point out difference as long as our intention is to better understand that difference. And one of my role models, and a person that I will forever be thankful to, was my dorm director my sophomore year at Ohio State. Now, I know this is going to be very, very impressive to most of you, but I was dorm hall council president my sophomore year. That's right. I know, hard to imagine. And I thought that I was all that in a bag of chips. And so Dale, my dorm director, he was just annoyed with me thoroughly because I just represented everything that he thought was wrong and bad in the world. Dale was particularly significant because he was the first African American that I ever became very, very close friends with. He went on to become one of my groomsmen in my wedding. But he used to get so angry at me, I could see his face contort. And he would just say, because even though he was black and I was white, I was like, hey, can't we all just get along? We're all the same on the inside. Come on, Dale. And he would just shake almost. He was like, Paul Meshanko, you don't know what you don't know. I didn't want to hear that. I was like, that would be work to have to figure that out. I was a sophomore in college. I was having fun. But he was absolutely right. And it was that dissonance between us that it actually triggered some incredible growth. And he would say to me, he said, Paul Meshanko, look at you and look at me. You are white, I am black. If you can't acknowledge that and understand how that makes our trajectory through life different, you cannot respect me. I didn't want to hear that, but he was absolutely right. Had I been able at that point to really be curious, it would have opened up, and eventually I got there, but at an earlier age, I could have said, help me understand that. And that is what we call engagement. When I'm curious, I don't walk away or avoid difference. I engage people to better understand it. And it is that process that leads us to this place called respect.